You may notice that at the end of my YouTube videos I say LDS Prepper out, and I realized I was saying that and wanted to give you some background on why I say LDS Prepper out. It's probably from my ham amateur radio background. When I sign out from having a conversation, I say my call sign and then I say out. So yes, Yankee Prepper, I am a ham radio operator and I am a licensed ham radio operator. I hadn't really thought about your or even considered your perspective on not registering as a ham radio operator, although it makes a lot of sense to me. So I am not going to be giving out my call sign today, so don't come looking for me. But anyway, so how I got involved into the ham radio or amateur radio is we were down here. Like I said, I've been prepping for decades, and finally the amateur radio regulations changed where you get a license and not have to do Morse code. So I got my, I think it's technician license, the entry-level license. I'm part of a group. The group meets on ham radios once a week, and we practice drills, we talk about equipment, we work as a group, and matter of fact we did work quite well as a group during Hurricane Ike. As a matter of fact, for our congregation, our church, we were able through ham radios get all of the leaders of the different congregations on the radio and be able to communicate the needs for, I don't know, several thousand church members, several, 9 different congregations. We were able to coordinate each other's needs and send out assistance. The most interesting thing I found out while I was running that network during Hurricane Ike is as these church leaders got on, and they all expressed the biggest frustration they had was lack of communication with their congregation. They did not know what the situation was with their members. And so when we were able to, and they were all really dragging their feet on, ham radio guys, yeah, you bunch of, crazies and, so forth. Well, their tone seemed to change somewhat considerably during Hurricane Ike, and how fast we were able to get the information back. Matter of fact, for my area, for my congregation, we ran a drill with the communication network that we set up with FRS radios and the ham radio and amateur radios. And within 60 minutes, we had an 80% count of every member of our congregation, and we're at our bishop's door with that information and the status of those families. And we tried that through other means before, and we only had a 20% information from the congregation or from the ward. So we found that it's very effective. The most important thing is you need to get a ham radio, and you need to get on it. You need to play with it. You need to get part of a group. It helps if you learn these things, these phonetic lettering, alpha, beta, or alpha, bravo, Charlie, delta, echo, that kind of stuff. It just helps things, make sure people understand what you're saying. I'm not too good on memory, but anyway, so that's why I have mine up here. But become part of a network. Learn how to, set up your channels. Learn how to use the radio. Learn how to learn protocol. So when you get on the radio, people, you can communicate and you can help people. Now, when Gustav came through Louisiana before Hurricane Ike did, I had my license and another ham radio operator. We went down there, and we were assigned from our church, the LDS church, over to a Red Cross shelter, and we were the sole communications for that area. The cell phones were out, and we were able to communicate with the entire network of Red Cross shelters and fire departments, police departments, and so forth. So we just got our gear, put it in the car, took off from Houston and went over to Louisiana and helped out for 3 days. Yeah, it was quite amazing to see the devastation from just a tropical storm, not even a hurricane, that really messed up that area. And people were scattered. Communication was just almost non-existent. So it's nice being able to be prepared as a prepper, because then you can help others. If I didn't have the ham radio, didn't have the experience, didn't know how to use it, and wasn't in good condition myself, I wouldn't have been able to go help others. So, of course, now I keep this here in my office where I can use it, but this is another item that's going to be taken care of, so in case we have some kind of a solar flare or EMP, that all the circuitry doesn't get blown out of it. So I'll be able to use it. And I know others who are doing the same. Others just buy a radio, to wrap it up in the box and put it in their metal garbage can and keep it that way as a backup. So it's a good thing to have. I recommend getting an amateur radio. I got this one off of a recommendation. I had no idea, it was good, bad, whatever. I wanted something that would be able to reach out for quite a while. Quite a distance. I can get 25 miles on this, no problem, with it's a $15 antenna on the top of my chimney. This will go right in my car. This is a power converter here, so I can go from AC to DC. And then this is just an ICOM IC2200H. I'm sure it's out of date by now, but it's much more powerful than a handheld, which allows me to get 25 miles out. Now there are other amateur radios that you can literally call around the world and talk to people around the world. I know here that with our cannery that once a week, Salt Lake City actually has a rotating antenna, and they actually communicate with each cannery in the United States, making sure the communications works in case of something happens. Like in Hurricane Ike, which something did happen, they were using the ham radio communication with Salt Lake extensively, and we were able to help a lot of people. Of course, that was only for a short period of time. For a long duration, that's just, there isn't enough supplies anywhere in the church to help a lot of people. So consider getting into this. That's a very fun sport. I don't drive around with it on, and you don't see it in my car when I'm going from point A to point B. But a lot of people really picked up the hobby and enjoy the fellowship and friendships they make over the radio. So give it a shot. It's very inexpensive to get into. I think I spent about $125 for this. Maybe $15 for the external radio. I've got 100 feet of cable and $15 antenna, so probably $200-300 and you're into it, and that's it. So it's very inexpensive to get into. Hope this helps, and maybe we'll hear you on the radio sometime. LDS Prepper out.